Hey guys, this is RuRoniK95 here, and it is time for a simple video that I wanted to do. Something I wanted to do very different though. It's just something I have forgotten that I wanted to do. Maybe I should have done a long time ago, which I haven't thought of until now. Even though I have been doing rants on the movies that are terrible, and which they are the worst though. But this time I have some honorable mentions this time in that one. Come to think of it. Yeah, because today we're going to be doing my top 20 worst movies list on this video for today, because why not? I wanted to do something that I haven't done because you know what we have for what is in store as well. Yeah. And come to think of it, as well, from the looks of it, from what I understand, which I haven't thought of until now. So let's do this. My top 20 worst movie list countdown from number 20 all the way to the first. And there's going to be a little bit of honorable mentions as well. Number 20, Poltergeist 2015 live-action movie. This movie basically is like almost as nothing as good as the original. I mean, I saw bits of it, and I thought Poltergeist 2015 Remake looks very terrible. I mean, it is nothing as good as the original. If you want to stick with something better on a movie for a change, you have to stick with the first two Poltergeist movies, because I was not a big fan on the third Poltergeist movie, which is Poltergeist 3, but that's going to be in my honorable mention though. But yeah, Poltergeist 2015 Remake, that movie is terrible in my opinion. I mean, I saw it and I hated it because it was one of those worst rebooted movies from 2015. I mean, it looks nothing like the original one, although the original Poltergeist along with Poltergeist 2 are the classics. Yeah, especially the music from Jerry Goldsmith, which has a feel like a Stephen King movie, a Spielberg movie. Sorry if I mentioned correctly. Yeah, the original Poltergeist is a classic, though. Yeah, stick with the first two ones, because it has a feel of a Steven Spielberg movie, of how the music goes, which how you would expect seeing in a movie, that's why. But avoid Poltergeist 2015 reboot, because it looks like a horror version of Material Girls, from the looks of it. Number 19, The Farm. The cannibal horror movie from 2018. I mean, I saw that movie, The Farm, because, you know, that movie is about where a young couple who are driving from Los Angeles when they were going into wrong directions in the countryside, is where I think basically where they stopped at a roadside diner where they eat burgers, but that wasn't long until they wanted to go for a bed and breakfast thing at the cabin motel like thing that is owned by the landlord, played by Ken Volok. When they were in bed, they got kidnapped by a masked kidnappers who are in the cult, and then they treated the humans like farm animals in the movie The Farm, because that movie is very disturbing and very disgusting as hell. Come to think of it, I mean, that movie almost made me throw up, because why would why would those masked kidnappers wearing like farm animal masks and treat humans like farm animals? Like, seriously, who the hell does that shit in that movie? I know it's just a movie, but still, that movie made me upset my stomach, because I almost threw up. So, I've seen better movies, like, if I want to watch something better, I would go and watch the 2005 werewolf body horror film Cursed, which I think that movie was okay in my opinion as well. But still, at least it's better than the 2018 cannibal horror movie, The Farm. I mean, The Farm, stay away from that movie. Number 18, Saving Christmas. Oh my god, it's like one of the worst movies from Kirk Cameron. I mean, who in the hell would Kirk Cameron make these kinds of movies? I mean, they never were supposed to be as good as expected. Because I think it's one of those movies that they are a hit and miss. From the looks of it, might have been more worse than I believe those Jason Friedberg and Aaron Salzer movies, as well as Freddy Got Fingered. Yeah, because you know what I mean. Number 17, Cats, 2019 movie. A 2019 musical film. I mean, oh my god. They look so hideous, especially in the movie Cats, that's just based on a musical. I mean, they look very hideous in that movie, especially of how the way they look, because that movie is terrible. Number 16, Movie 43. Oh my god. This is basically one of those movies which I think that they are trash as well, because from the looks of it, as from what I understand, is that, I mean, Movie 43 was basically horrible, though, from what I understand, though, as well. Because that's how, from what I get from the looks of it, from what I understand. Because this is why I do not like about how they portray this movie like how they do in Hollywood, especially for Movie 43. Number 15, The Last Airbender. Another piece of freaking trash movie, which I think that ruined the Nickelodeon TV show, Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I think I've heard pretty much good things about Avatar: The Last Airbender, which it looks kind of maybe inspired by anime, but still. But that doesn't mean of how it was intended for the movie, The Last Airbender, because I bet this movie looks very bland and almost as terrible as the other ones that I mentioned in the past as well. Okay, that's from the looks of it, from what I understand as well. Number 14, Mac and Me. Another 80s movie that is the worst. And it's basically how it ruined E.T. the Extraterrestrial as well, because think of it. How did they fuck a movie up like this, especially when they made Mac and Me as well? I mean, from the looks of it as well, from what I understand, is that they made a horrible ripoff to E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I mean, seriously, why would they make this movie that is terrible? I mean, that's how, from what I understand, is that you would expect, for wanting to know about this movie, though, it's about how they made these terrible movies, that's why. Number 13, let me think for number 13. Let me guess. I know for number 13. From Prada to Nada. Oh my god, this movie is a piece of trash. Sequel to that god-awful movie, Material Girls. You know, which is Hillary and Haley Duff's worst movie from 2006. I mean, seriously, why would they make these kinds of movies like that? I mean, it's one of those movies that are the worst and you don't want to watch, basically. It may be as worse as I Love You, Beth Cooper, which I thought I Love You, Beth Cooper looks trash, in my opinion. They should have renamed I Love You, Beth Cooper as I Love You, French Stewart. even though I hated French Stewart, in my opinion, because I'm going to put I Love You, Beth Cooper in my honorable mentions as well. And yeah, number 13, that was From Prada to Nada, the horrible official sequel to Material Girls. Number 12, Batman and Robin. Oh my god, another horrible Batman movie. I mean, it was not as good as the previous Batman movies like Batman, Batman Returns, and Batman Forever, which I think... I've heard good things about Batman and Batman Returns, but Batman Forever I want to check out because... I've heard good things about Batman Forever, though, because I thought it looks pretty awesome and it looks very good. But Batman and Robin is terrible. Like, who in the hell that they hired George Clooney to play Batman in that? But I'm glad that Nostalgia Critic did a rant review on Batman Forever. No, not Batman Forever. No, Batman and Robin. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm glad Nostalgia Critic did a rant on Batman and Robin, though, because I wouldn't be surprised if Nostalgia Critic would rant on these other ones, which I mentioned as well. So that's number 12. Batman and Robin, because the worst movie from 1997, because it's the worst Joel Schumacher movie, though. But Batman Forever is pretty good, though. But Batman and Robin is a piece of shit movie. Number 11, Night of the Demons 2009 Remake. Seriously, why would they make this one of those crap horror movie remakes, though? And yeah, Night of the Demons 2009 Remake featured Edward Furlong and Shannon Elizabeth from, American Pie and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And I think she was also in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, which I forgot to mention. But still, Night of the Demons is the 2009 remake is the worst movies that are ever made as well. I mean, seriously, why in the hell would they make these worst remake movies? I mean, why would they do that? I mean, it is a letdown because it is those piece of garbage movies, though, from what I understand. Number 10, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 Remake. Seriously, I've seen the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and I thought it looked trash, though, because, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street remake looks very bland, and it's very trash. I mean, why would they hire a different actor to play Freddy Krueger instead of Robert Englund in that movie? I mean, it was not as... I mean, why would they do a horrible 2010 remake, which is a remake on the original Nightmare on Elm Street featuring Johnny Depp, though? Although Johnny Depp was in Edward Scissorhands, though. Well, the first Nightmare on Elm Street, on the other hand, is basically one of Johnny Depp's earlier films he did as well. Oh, and Lynn Shay, who is from Detroit Rock City, is also in that movie with Johnny Depp as well. The original Nightmare on Elm Street. But still, Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 remake, I really hated it. That frickin' piece of trash movie. I wouldn't be surprised if Nostalgia Critic would have done a rant review on Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 remake. Then that would have been a lot better if Nostalgia Critic would review that as well. That's from what I understand, though. Number 9, Dragon Ball Evolution. Another piece of frickin' trash movie from 2009, which is the worst movie ever made. That came out in 2009, around the same year as that other piece of trash movie, I Love You, Beth Cooper, and Snow Dogs as well. Because that's from what I understand, though, is that Dragon Ball Evolution is one of those worst movies ever made, though, because, I mean, seriously, like, they always fuck up the original Japanese anime. If you want to stick with something better, just watch the anime Dragon Ball Z, at least it gets a lot better. Well, I prefer the anime over Dragon Ball Evolution because, yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution looks very trash, though. I mean, it ruined the Japanese anime as well. Might have been worse than any other movies, though. Number 8, Fist of the North Star with Gary Daniels, 1995. Another letdown movie, which is hit and miss, and it's the worst movie ever made from 95. Yeah, I did a rant on... Oh, I forgot. Nostalgia Critic reviewed Dragon Ball Evolution on how horrible Dragon Ball Evolution is, because I'm glad Nostalgia Critic reviewed it as well. Yeah, because... But anyways, number 8, Fist of the North Star. Another... It looks nothing like the anime. I mean, what is it with Hollywood ruining those anime movies from the 90s? Like, let's say, for example, Fist of the North Star with Gary Daniels. Well, Gary Daniels may be a great martial artist, though, but he cannot play Kenshiro in Fist of the North Star. I mean, hasn't Gary Daniels ever seen the anime, or has he ever read the manga? No, I don't think so, because if you want to stick with something better, stick with the original anime. I mean, the Fist of the North Star live-action movie with Gary Daniels is terrible. I did a rant on it, by the way. It's just almost as worse as Mortal Kombat Annihilation, though. Another I'll mention this as well, which we'll get to in my honorable mentions. Number 7, Son of the Mask. Oh my god. This worst movie from... which is a horrible sequel to The Mask with Jim Carrey, but though... I mean, Son of the Mask is one of those worst movies ever made, though, because they always ruin everything, including the Mask with Jim Carrey. I mean, if you want to... yeah, Son of the Mask is the worst movie from 2005 as well. If you want to stick with something better, stick with The Mask, the one with Jim Carrey. At least it's better than Son of the Mask. Well, yeah, so that's all I have. Number 6, Evil Toons. Oh my god. Another worst horror movie from the 90s, which is freaking trash. I like David Carradine. I liked him better in Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, and Kung Fu The Legend Continues. But why would he be in Evil Toons? I think it's his worst role in Evil Toons, though. I mean, it's like freaking Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's like a raunchy horror version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit in Evil Toons, though. And, yeah, especially because Evil Toons makes Who Framed Roger Rabbit look like Legend of the Overfiend as well. Evil Toons is terrible, though. Number 5, Freddy Got Fingered. Oh my god. Don't even get me started on that movie. It's just the worst film from Tom Green, as how this movie gotten bad reviews as well from the critics and the audience, though, especially for a horrible movie like Freddy Got Fingered, starring Tom Green, though. Think of it. That movie was the worst. Yeah, Tom Green's movies, it may be as worse as Home Alone, Taking Back the House with French Stewart. Aha! Which I'm going to mention that in just a moment on my honorable mentions. Number 4, Disaster Movie. Oh my god. Don't even get me started on Disaster Movie, because this is how they fuck up a movie, especially the dating song and effing song, and that's how everyone has to leave the movie theater, especially for a worst movie from Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer movies. Yeah, Disaster Movie, why would they use every characters from any certain types of movies to be added in Disaster Movie as well? Because, yeah, Disaster Movie is the worst movie ever made in 2008, from what I understand as well. Think about it. Yeah, disaster movie always F's things up in that one. Especially the worst movies that are part of Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer's crap movies as well, from what I understand. Number 3, the Emoji Movie. Oh my god. This is the worst movie ever made from 2017. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't be surprised. I could imagine if Nostalgia Critic would review Disaster Movie and do a rant out of it and saying how he can criticize that movie. That would be great if Nostalgia Critic would rant on Disaster Movie, as well as more of these Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer movies, if only Nostalgia Critic would review that. Number 3, the Emoji Movie. Another piece of crap movie from Sony Pictures Animation Studios as well. Think of it. I mean, this is the worst movie ever made, though. I mean, why they use like these emojis and all, including how they made the most hated movie what the Emoji Movie has become as well. Yeah, I've always wanted to expect how I despise the Emoji Movie. I always hated the Emoji Movie because they fuck shit up, especially how the emojis had a lot to do, especially for in the Emoji Movie, though. So, the Emoji Movie's the worst. I'm glad Nostalgia Critic reviewed that horrible movie, though. Number 2, Material Girls. Oh my god. This is the worst movie ever. This is the worst movie, especially of how Hilary and Haley Duff did this movie, though. I mean, this is like the worst movie ever, along with its prequel, Cowbells, and the official sequel from 2011, From Prada to Nada, which I mentioned it earlier, though. But still, the Material Girls is horrible. I mean, it's a piece of crap, though. I mean, Material Girls is one of those worst movies that are made in 2006, though. I mean, if you want to see something better, I would go and watch The Benchwarmers, Snakes on a Plane, or and Clerks 2. Forgot to mention that as well. Yeah, because I always hated Material Girls, because that movie sucked, though. And finally, number 1. And also, not only that, I wish I could have thought if Nostalgia Critic would rant and review on Material Girls, it would have been better if Nostalgia Critic would rant and review on Material Girls, and he wanted to know how awful Material Girls is, because leave it up for Nostalgia Critic, that's why. And finally, number 1, Artemis Fowl. This is one of those worst movies that are ever made. They're supposed to get a theatrical trailer, but instead they end up being on Disney Plus, though. Yeah, Artemis Fowl, I thought this movie looked piece of trash, though. I mean, it's like a rip-off to Agent Cody Banks and Men in Black as well. Although I did my rant on Artemis Fowl, though. Because that movie sucked, though. Because, although I never read the Artemis Fowl books, because I was never a fan of the books, no offense to the fans, though, but it is true. I never liked Artemis Fowl, though, because it's one of those horrible movies that ended up being on Disney Plus, though. I mean, why would they do that type of crap, especially for garbage movies like Artemis Fowl, because that's how it's... Yeah, that movie may be worse as Material Girls, and that movie may be worse as Disaster Movie, and From Prada to Nada, and Cowbells, which is the prequel to Material Girls. Artemis Fowl may be worse as I Love You, Beth Cooper, as well as many other Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer's crap movies, though. But still, Artemis Fowl is the worst movie that ended up being on Disney Plus. Even though I don't have Disney Plus, though. That's just my opinion, though. So that's my rant. I have my list I'm ranking on how the movies are the worst from 20 to the first as well. Because this is the first time I'm going to do it. Here are my honorable mentions I have on the worst movies. Like I meant on my honorable mention of these types of worst movies I mentioned are Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Epic Movie, Meet the Spartans, and Date Movie, as well as other worst movies, like, from what I understand. And also Norm of the North, also. And there are, pretty much I have, oh, and The Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers, another worst movie in my honorable mention, as well, from what I understand. And also Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House, though. Because, yeah, it's part of my honorable mentions, though. Even though Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House is the worst movie. Because I think Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House is the worst Home Alone movie, which I think it ruined the first two Home Alone movies starring Macaulay Culkin. I mean, why would they have French Stewart play Marv in Home Alone Taking Back the House? Well, he is nothing like Daniel Stern in that one. Daniel Stern is the true actor from the original Home Alone movies. But still, Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House is the worst movie with French Stewart as well. And also, I Love You, Beth Cooper, which is another trash film from 2009, which I thought I Love You, Beth Cooper looked trash. It should have been retitled as I Love You, French Stewart in that one as well. Yeah, because I'm never a big fan of I Love You, Beth Cooper. It should have been I Love You, French Stewart in that one as well. That's how I'm going to learn to give you my ways of how I explain this about these types of worst movies, though. And in my honorable mentions as well, from what I understand. Yeah, and also Sheeps and Wolves, another worst movie. It's in my honorable mention I have to add as well. So that's going to be it for my top 20 worst movies I have for today, you guys. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's something to say for this one. Wow, this is the first time I wanted to do a top 20 worst movies list for the first time here, because I wanted to do something that takes the cake, though. Hope to subscribe for content. My Anime Planet link in the description below. You can share this video on your Twitter, Facebook. If you have Twitter, Facebook account, on all social media, smack the like button if you enjoy this video. Feel free to leave in the comments section below in this video also, if you like as well. Let me know in the comments about what are the worst movies that you think that are the worst in your opinions in the comments below, if you want to know about this as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RuRoniK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel. Smack the notifications bell button. Be sure to get notified as well, because this is the first time I'm going to do my top 20 worst movie list for the first time, though. This is RuRoniK95 saying thank you for watching my video, and I'm glad you liked it, and I hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Hope you have a great day. This is RuRoniK95 signing off. Thank you for watching my video, and I will see you soon for more videos.